How many infringements are you really willing to accept and still call yourself a pro-Second Amendment advocate? People ask how an old codger like me stays in shape. The fact is, 80% of being healthy is what you cram or don't cram into your pie hole. You've probably already heard of the ketogenic or keto diet. To sum it up, it's a high-fat, moderate protein, low-carb diet that forces your body to burn fat rather than the glucose or simple sugars that so many people are addicted to. The bottom line is this kind of diet works. And I use Keto Elevate because it's specifically designed to help quickly and efficiently raise your ketone levels so you can reap the major benefits of the keto diet lifestyle. And guys, this isn't just an ad. This stuff really works. Use my link in the description, ketowithflix.com, and get 51% off while supplies last. I want to talk about this tweet that I saw today from Moms Demand Action. I'm not speaking derogatorily about Moms Demand Action when I speak against it. I am just talking with objective facts, okay? You have to get rid of all the euphemisms so that you can have an honest conversation and transfer honest information about what you're talking about. When somebody talks to me about background checks and how they're mandatory, and if you skirt around background checks, you'll be punished, we are literally talking about government-sanctioned gun violence. If you ask the government to do anything on your behalf, and I don't care if it's a good thing, I don't care if it sounds like a good thing, if you ask the government to steal from another entity, another individual, another group of people so that they can provide little Jimmy with crutches, then the government has to initiate violence on somebody to steal that wealth from other people so that they can supply little Jimmy with crutches. As the saying goes, the government is good at one thing. The government is good at one thing: breaking your legs, handing you a taxpayer-funded crutch and saying, see, if it weren't for the government, boy, you wouldn't be able to walk. It's like, if it weren't for the government, I wouldn't have had broken legs. Are you kidding me? Not to mention how many people you stole from on my behalf so that you can supply me with the crutches that I wouldn't need unless you broke my legs. So anything the government does, any resource the government throws at something has to be stolen from somebody else. And it's taken by force. It's taken by the barrel of a government gun. So if you want background checks, then the government has to move in and enforce. The word force is in enforce. You know that, right? Enforce. They have to enforce that law by the barrel of a government gun. You can't have a whole lot of people disobeying without punishment. You can't have a whole lot of people out there doing their own thing without coercing and threatening them. So if the government does anything on your behalf, Moms Demand Action, i.e. background checks, ERPOs, extreme risk protection orders, then the government does it by force, by violence and force and coercion and threats. That includes background checks, NRA, because we wouldn't have the NICS instant background check system per Wayne LaPierre if it wasn't for the NRA writing the bill and getting it passed.
The best kept secret is that the National Instant Check System wouldn't exist at all if it weren't for the NRA.
What the hell did you just say?
The best kept secret is that the National Instant Check System wouldn't exist at all if it weren't for the NRA.
It's true. Back in the 90s, President Clinton forced passage of a mandatory waiting period on every handgun purchased in America. Not a background check, a wait. But NRA said as soon as the technology was available, their wait had to be replaced by an instant background check done by the dealer at the point of sale.
Says, I'm phone banking with every town. That's a Bloomberg. Bloomberg is so anti-American, guys. And Moms Demand Action to tell our elected leaders we deserve more than thoughts and prayers to end gun violence. The way they want to end gun violence is by begging the government to initiate gun violence on other people. That's the insanity of this. Background checks equal government gun violence. Red flag laws equals government gun violence. Magazine capacity limitation. Increased taxation on ammunition and firearms. That's all backed by government gun. If you want to call it gun violence, let's just use their word. There's no such thing as gun violence, but I'm going to go ahead and use their word anyway and throw it back into their lap like the hot coal that it actually is. How do you propose that the government enforce your anti-gun violence legislation? It has to be at the barrel of a government gun. How else are they going to do it? That's why it's insanity. That's why it's important always to talk about this kind of stuff. Background check is government gun violence. Red flag laws, gun violence.
That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders.
Bump stock bans, Trump. Government gun violence. I like take the guns first, due process second. That's government gun violence.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
The bottom line of this video is very simple. Either you're for the Second Amendment or you're against it. If you're for anything like background checks, red flag laws, bump stock bans, additional taxation on ammunition, gun-free zones, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. If you're for any of those things, you're against shall not be infringed. If you're for the Second Amendment, you're for shall not be infringed. It's either one or the other. You can't have both. If you guys enjoyed these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com, and don't forget to subscribe to me over on Odyssey and BitChute. All those links are in the description and in the pinned comment. If you want to support this channel, the Bitcoin, Subscribestar, PayPal, and Patreon links are all in the description below as well. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored, shadow ban, 100% demonetized video. Don't forget to also subscribe to me on my alternate channel here on YouTube called Grease Monkey Videos. That link is also in the description. See you next time.